And last but not least, guys, the election. We are not going to talk about it the way that anyone else has and anyone else does. I really want to zoom out. It's no lie that the election processes for the last almost 10 years, maybe arguably 12 years with Obama, have become more and more radicalized on both sides. The parties are becoming more radicalized. They aren't getting along in chamber. They aren't passing laws that are really needed. They're not working efficiently. At the same time, you have the public who is growing increasingly dissatisfied with what their public servants are doing for them or lack thereof and their living standards. I mean, despite the economy booming with record revenue, thanks Apple, I'm not feeling it. And from the way that people are so uh, vigorously rallying around these two candidates, I don't think they're feeling it either. So, what's going on? Is it Trump? No, no. He's a product. He's a product of this environment. He's not the spark. Obama wasn't the spark. He's a product. Okay? I mean, other than a JFK type, you never see them throw a freshman congressman into the presidential race unless they feel he can really win it for a lot of reasons, including their oration talent, charming good looks, and maybe a ethnic racial profile that fits the bill. And yes, I'm talking about JFK too. He was the first Catholic president. That was a huge thing all those years ago. Obama, the first black president, huge thing. But we've just grown increasingly tenuous with one another on a one on one basis, to the public, to the government, and the government back toward the people. Okay? So, what really is going on here? Well, no one has the answer, but I have a hypothesis, and it's a scary one, fitting for the day. The Republic is in trouble. We're in decline, guys. There's no beating around the bush. There's no finger pointing. If this gets you mad, good. That means you're finally hearing the truth. The Republic is in decline. The nation is in decline. The empire is in decline. Very akin to the fall of the Roman Republic, right around the time when Julius Caesar took power. He was a people loved him. He gave money to the people. He gave quick, entertainments, big games. Um, he fostered people's resentment to the existing Senate. And the interesting thing about the late Roman Republic, it was still a major power as America is today. And despite China's reluctance of admitting, we are still at the moment top dog. The gap between us is closing fast and not in our favor. But we're still at the top, just like Rome was at its time. So, why was there such trouble? Why were people so discontent in the late Roman Republic? Well, simply put, because the system wasn't working for everybody anymore. The bottom wasn't getting the rewards that being a citizen of Rome promised them. And the elites and the rich and the aristocrats were continuously being gluttonous and in decadence and failing to address a lot of the issues, the outstanding issues that the people of Rome needed to fix. And they just kept putting band aids on all of these issues instead of really addressing them. Okay? But you're getting these populist swings, and make no mistake, Harris is a lot closer to a Bernie Sanders type of candidate than Bill Clinton. Okay? She is veering towards a rather democratic socialist left. Trump is veering toward a very conservative, in some ways, if he had full run of the game, I will admit, a neo fascist kind of movement. The parties are going farther and farther and farther apart. They're getting radicalized because nothing is working. So, for the last 20, 25 years in this country, things haven't been working really since 9/11. And again, this is a whole nother video, but things have been in relative decline. And with nothing working, and we're printing money, trying to put band aids on the issues, you have heroes like Trump, who's trying to be a Julius Caesar. He's not cool enough, he's not smart enough. He'll never be. This is one Julius Caesar. But he's trying to be this populist hero who comes in and saves the day from the wicked elite. Well, he's just another one of them. He's not really changed the game here. So that's essentially what's wrong with the country. The republic as it stood is really no more. And I think the big overarching reason as to why we have fed into, at first, an internal decline and then exterior issues like 9/11, financial crisis, COVID, has just sped our demise and is speeding our demise, is greed. The whole thing we started this video off of with talking about earnings announcements yesterday and today with Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Apple reporting record $100 billion of profits. Meanwhile, our food is poison, literally poison, and we're eating it. We can't pay for medical bills. I do believe Medicare is a human right. Healthcare is a human right, and we don't give it to our citizens or even a break for our citizens. Tax breaks are for the rich. The rich get away with murdering and killing people as long as it brings profits. But, you do something wrong, you miss your taxes, you go to jail, you get fined. All right? They continue to squeeze the wealth out of the middle class by printing billions of dollars for decades to fund wars, to pay their friends they went to Harvard with, so they can pay their friends who are senators to keep paying them. You see the cycle? Okay. There aren't direct bribes in the United States, but there are lobbyists who have the money to fund campaigns and have the influence to get an audience with a congressperson a lot faster than you and I will. That's the truth. And the Congress people hear them, not us. And they pass bills that support them for jobs. Sure, there's some good things there, but they continue to pass laws in favor for their rich friends, not us. It's the truth. When's that going to stop? And I guess the better question is, when did that start? Even in the industrialists back in the day, 120 years ago, Vanderbilt, Astor, they built libraries. They built things for the public works, for the glory of the United States and this grand experiment, for the glory of the Republic, for the fact that they made such an amazing life for themselves and created, godlike technology for the time. These monuments stood as glory and honor. They didn't keep it all and then spend it on decadence for their future generations. Okay. That's part of the kind of underlying psychology that began bleeding this country out. Richard Nixon lifting the dollar from the gold standard the way he did, as quickly as he did, with no logical restrictions for where this capital can now flow, is probably one of the other really big moments that began our precipitous decline. Okay, but that's why things are so tense, guys. It's not Trump, it's not the Democrats, it's not the Republicans. It is the way things have been going, and the system is too big to stop. The military-industrial complex that runs the world currently, the current financial system, which comes out of here, it can't stop until it breaks because it's paying too many people around the world to keep it going. So unfortunately, we either have to all come together with a level head and say, oh, let's calm down here, let's fix this. or it's going to break apart in two and then 50 pieces. And I don't really want to get into what happens after that. I don't have a solution. I think the biggest solution is just to like have people wake up and realize that it's really all of them, all of the people who are controlling um, society, who have the influential decision makers. It's up to them. It is their fault. They need to help fix it. They are part of the problem. I am not a communist. I don't want to redistribute wealth. This is not what I'm talking about. But we need some logical laws that are going to adjust things. How about like we make lobbying illegal? All campaigns go on a fixed budget, like Europe or the UK. Billionaires can't have influence over bills that get passed. You could call that treason. Why not? A republic is to represent all the people, not you. If you feel so entitled to use your money against your fellow citizens, that's being a traitor to the republic. Okay? Pass a treason law. Warren Buffett's idea. If our deficit goes over a certain threshold, all members of Congress will need to go for re-election. They'll stop passing budget deficits real quick, and they'll get that budget under control really fast. You need to incentivize these bad actors, and you need to scare the living shit out of them because they're not going to stop abusing the system. Sorry to end it on a sour note, but that's the truth. That's what's happening. And I don't know what to do about it. It's watching a train crash in slow motion. It's just too big to stop. Nothing will stop it other than its own crash. And it's going to affect a lot of things, right? A car will just hit a telephone pole, the guy will go flying. A train, hundreds of people will get hurt, maybe killed, and a lot of damage will happen to outlying areas, and it will cause further and further problems with traffic, yada yada, other trains. It's a whole literal mess. That's kind of what like living in the 21st century in this country has been like. It's sad. It's very sad. We had something good here.